to interact with our people, and we had to hide in a hotel somewhere, tell everybody to switch off their phones, and we were only able to share these pictures when we finished the event. We proceeded to Chenjojo, where we found that they had found good information that NUP was coming to organize to put up our structures. And what did the DPC there, one Mujizi? You saw what happened to Chairman Nyanzi and other leaders, very, very humiliated. Some were arrested, others were beaten up, etc., etc. I've given an example just on the weekend. You saw what happened to Honorable Susan Mugabe. Because she's an NUP member of parliament, she wanted just to do an activity, and that is what happened to her. Honorable Joyce Wagara organized the Women's Day event in Mitiana about 3-4 weeks back. They did the same thing to her. So how can you be asking me that you're not seeing us on the ground? How can you be saying that you're not seeing us on the ground if this is the environment in which you operate? So some of the things that we do not even publicize. Okay. We've been moving around, trying to re-energize our people. But what I'll say is that not just for the election, because that's the direction you seem to be taking me in. We are saying that we need to use all means possible to get rid of this regime. Our duty is to educate, to empower, to energize, to awaken the people. And that is what we've been doing. That is a message that we've been sending out. Every time we have an opportunity to be on radio like this, we tell the people, rise up, because it is your future that is being stolen by this criminal regime. And so we are using different strategies.
You're using very strong words there, criminal regime.
But of course,
this is a government elected by the people. You actually went into an election.
You are a Ugandan, so
to compete against them.
I want to believe, Kenneth, that you're Ugandan, and you know what we witnessed on the 14th of February. Was it February or January 2021? You remember what happened on that day? You know, you saw the criminality, the open day thuggery that took place in this country on that day. You remember what the regime did. You know, I believe all radio stations, including this one, was not allowed to relay results that were happening. You remember how our agents were being plucked off polling stations and taken away. You remember how our presidential candidate was placed under house arrest. The election took place after casting his ballot. He was placed under house arrest, and you remember what happened after that. You remember that thousands of young people were abducted, and up to now, some of the people that were abducted are still missing. Just this week, I wrote to the Uganda Human Rights Commission last week, reminding them about their pledge to expeditiously investigate the whereabouts of 18 supporters of NUP who were abducted in 2020 and 2021. So, if I don't call this regime a criminal regime, what do you want me to call it?
All right. Let's hear some of the comments that are coming in from the listeners. We have a comment that comes in from Godwin Okirol. This is via the WhatsApp line, which is 0703-090-090. He says, for a young party to pronounce term limits for its MPs is one of the worst strategies NUP is trying to advance, and as day follows night, it is going to boomerang. What point are they trying to prove? It is just meant for posturing and not to demonstrate any form of democracy. NUP should brace for these actions, and they will live to regret this move. And he says, let us watch this political space.
Well, I noticed that definitely you'll most likely pick out such messages.
No,
when the majority, I've been looking at the majority of them are actually in agreement with our position.
Are you able to look at my phone?
I saw it. No, I saw the comments coming in on your platforms during the break. However, for Joseph, like you said, let's watch the space, and I can tell you, let's watch the space. We believe that you, Joseph Okirol, Godwin, you should have an opportunity.
He's listening in from Tinder.
Yes, you should have an opportunity to run for that position where the current MP is occupying. And we think that if you probably don't have money to run in that position. We think that, first of all, one of the challenges that is there is that if you are in a position for more than 10 years, you can imagine you have generated a lot of financial muscle, and it is very, very difficult, whether during the party processes. So that's one of the challenges that we're trying to address. We are saying that we should give an opportunity to someone, for example, who has no money, to come and be able to compete. That's one of the things that we're trying to do in creating these provisions. We are saying that if a person has been in a position for 10 years, That should be enough time for you to serve your people. And we are not saying that you're not allowed to run for any other position forever. If the people think that you've done a good job as a councillor, let them elect you to become a member of parliament. If people think you've done a good job as Secretary General, they can elect you to become a deputy president of the party, or they can elect you to become the treasurer tomorrow, or you can become something else. And this does not, I don't want these people to only talk about elective positions. It's about all other positions within the party, because we think that political leadership should not be looked at in terms of longevity in a position, but in terms of the services you're able to deliver.
Well, another person, Henry Rising, says politics is a service. If people move because term limits is their choice, term limits are important and good for the political party.
Okay, great. Hey. And I agree with that one.
Hey, you're excited.
Not excited.
Reading it
I was telling you that I was worried that you would only pick out those that you would want to drive a narrative, because people listening into us should know that majority. You have used the word people.
Everybody is driving a certain narrative.
Listen, you have used a certain word that people have been saying, and as far as I know, on all the social media platforms and all the radio stations I've listened to of Uganda actually agree with our position.
Somebody else says, we thank our SG for deliberating. Those of Mpuga are just selfish. We are fighting overstay in power.
I wouldn't agree with that. Like I said, their opinions. You know, someone said that opinions are like noses. Everyone has his own and they come in different shapes. So when people express their opinions, they are their opinions.
All right. There's somebody else here who does not leave a name behind, wants to know your position on the issue of homosexuality.
Our position has been very clear. And now, you see, General Museveni and his people have started speaking in tongues over it. Let's wait and see what happens.
What is your position?
Our position has been very clear. Our position, first of all, our position has been clear that the regime uses this issue. Every time you talk about, you press them on human rights, you press them on service delivery, you press them on what, they bring it up. And so this is what has been going on for all the time. And we definitely won't allow ourselves to be dragged into that, because now the regime is being exposed. You remember, there's a time when people were saying, oh, NUP, we want to take, now the bill was signed, and again, like the last time, what happened? General Museveni signs it, uses his own people to go and challenge it before the courts of law for political expediency. So that is the same thing we are seeing. And we believe that eventually they will be exposed.
All right, very quickly, we are coming to the end of the discussion. Message that you want to leave to your supporters of this political party.
Our people should be firm. Our people should be solid. Our people should mobilize. Like I said, let each one of us Ugandans do the little that we can, or the bigger that we can, the small, the big. Make sure that every day before you sleep, you ask yourself, what have I done today to advance the struggle for a better country?
All right, we come to the end of the discussion today. Let me thank you very much, Mr. David Louis Rubongoya, Secretary General of the National Unity Platform Party. Next time we have a discussion here, I want us to talk about the different policy positions of your political party on the issues that
I'm very happy to do that.
In this particular country, that some people actually think you do not understand policy issues as well.
When I was here the last time, I actually put down our policies and our manifesto. I'm happy to be hosted again and talk about that issue.
All right, with that, we come to the end of Spectrum. Up next, the news in English with Lillian Keno. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train with BB Jude.
Thank you.
Labor Day recognized.
Erisangibwa ku Kampala lyatandikibwa mu 2001 era nga